In this video, I'll be sharing some of the fragrances that I have for the cold weather. I'll be wearing these this winter when it's cold outside or for holidays. Hi there, it's Peter from Centrail. On this channel, we talk about fragrances, perfumers, fragrances, niche, designer, and so on and so forth. If you like fragrances or just want to smell great, this may be a place for you. If it's your first time, I want to give you a warm welcome. If you're back, thanks for coming back. And now let's get right into our winter fragrances. All the fragrances in this video are not ranked. I don't really believe in ranking fragrances because they may smell better on my body chemistry than they do on yours or vice versa. So my ranking is really of no use to you. However, all of these are great for winter. They're all kinds of price ranges. Every one of them is a designer, so they're not too much, $100 and below, I would think. The first one we're gonna look at, or number 10, as everybody likes to kind of go backwards from 10 to 1, for me is Salvatore Ferragamo's, and it's the Uomo, the signature. There's a few in this line that Salvatore Ferragamo has in the Uomo line, but I think the signature one is a really good for the cold weather. This is a 2018 fragrance with some really cool notes in it. Alberto Morillas is behind this wonderful fragrance. This fragrance you can often find at like the discount stores like Marshall's and so on and so forth. And it's around $40, $50 US maybe, and it's a really good buy. The fragrance lasts about 8 hours, and the main notes in this fragrance are coffee, tonka bean, there is some grapefruit and mandarin in the opening, and there's also some cypress and cedarwood as the fragrance progresses. But it like stays in coffee and tonka for most of the time that you have it. It's about 8 hours. And the projection on this fragrance is elbow to arm's length. It's a really nice fragrance for around $40 to $50 US. And that's our number 10. My number 9 scent is Mont Blanc, and it is Legend by Night. Or Legend Night, I think it just is. This one right here. And Legend by Night came out in 2017. Let's give it a quick spritz. The noses behind this one are Maison Dieu and Pachou. Legend Night smells a lot like Alberto Morillas Uomo. They're in the same sort of group of fragrances. Although I think that Legend Night is a bit smoother and just a little bit more well balanced than Alberto Morillas's or Uomo by Salvatore Ferragamo. This one doesn't quite project as long, and it doesn't stay as long as Salvatore Ferragamo Uomo. So if you want something a little bit softer that's in the same kind of neighborhood, Legend Night by Mont Blanc is really a good deal. This one is for someone who enjoys the woody vanilla with the spices and just a little bit of powder. And you can buy Legend Night for around $40 US online. You can't find this one at discounters, but online you can find it for around $40. It's going to be quite a bit more if you buy it at the retailers. So that's Legend Night by Mont Blanc. Warm, spicy, and a little bit powdery. The number 8 fragrance that I chose for the winter and the cooler days or holidays is really one of my favorites. It is Issey Miyake's Nuit d'Issey, and it's Pulse of the Night. This is a really cool fragrance that starts off with olibanum. Olibanum is a fragrance that has a balsamic green woody note or scent with a little bit of fruit on the top. That's all in an olibanum. It's really cool. This is a great fragrance when it's cold outside. It's a bit hard to get online nowadays. As this one dries down, it goes through some woody, leathery, sweet vanilla. And there's also some patchouli in this fragrance. It's really one of my favorites from Issey Miyake. And it's a 2019, so it's not very old. Now I know I say that this is a bit powdery. It's even more powdery than the last one, which was the Mont Blanc Legend Night, which has a little bit of a powdery scent to it, smoother. This one is also powdery, but it's powdery in a completely different way. It doesn't smell like baby powder. It is somehow they achieved to make this one masculine, even though it's powdery. It's really a unique fragrance, and if you ever get a tester of it, you should try it. It's really great. This one is also just a little bit more than the other two. I think it comes in right around $75 online. If you can find it, it's always sold out, especially around these times of the year when it's cooler outside, because it's a phenomenal scent. That's Nuit d'Essai, Pulse of the Night by Issey Miyake, our number 8. So for number 7, I thought we'd throw in a couple of ouds. Well, yeah, we'll throw in a couple of ouds for number 7. The one I picked for number 7 is Varvatos Oud, and it's a 2014 fragrance. Varvatos Oud is probably my favorite, even to or equal to Dark Rebel by Varvatos, which I could also have put here since it is a bit of a dark, smoky, deep fragrance. But since we're going into the holidays, I wouldn't wear the Dark Rebel unless you're trying to make trouble. So the Varvatos Oud is really an exceptional fragrance, and it is a great beginner's oud. How about we give it a little quick spray? There we go. Man, this is such a good fragrance. So Varvatos Oud has oud in it, obviously, as the name says, but it is so well blended with the Turkish rose, cloves, and jasmine. It's really not in your face at all. It is nice, engulfing, and warm, and really a unique fragrance. Like most of the Varvatos fragrances, they really stand by themselves, and it's quite an interesting designer house that is not mainstream at all. It has a good bit of depth to it, and it is leathery and smoky all at once, with a hint of oud in the background, but it is not animalic or it is not dirty or anything like that. It's very smooth and almost creamy. This fragrance, the drawback is unfortunately that it doesn't last very long. It's only about 6 hours, so if you're an oud lover or you want to get into ouds, it's a great one to start with. It only lasts you about 6 hours, you can get used to it. Unfortunately, that's the case with lots of the Varvatos fragrances. So that's Varvatos Oud, and you can get this one online. At Varvatos, they sell this over $100, but you can get this online for about half that. It's Varvatos Oud, John Varvatos, and I believe it was 2014 fragrance. So I said I was going to do a couple of ouds here. I'm actually going to do 3. But this one I'm just going to throw in real quick. This is 24 Scent Story, and it is the oud edition. Now this little gem here is sweet. It's engulfing. The oud is barely noticeable. And it's a beast. It will literally last you from morning till night and then some. And it stays pretty linear. It's a wonderful little scent. If you also a good one to try out. But where the Varvatos Oud is short, this one will last you a long time. And it is much sweeter, but equally soft. And that is 24 Scent Story, and that's the oud edition. Okay, and here's my last oud for this. I like oud. If it's well done, it's not in anybody's face and it doesn't offend anyone. Number 6 is Boss Bottled Oud by Hugo Boss. I already sprayed this on here. Actually wrote on there what it is, because I keep spraying in here and it's starting to smell like a bazaar. So Boss Bottled Oud has the remnants of the originals, since it is a flanker of the original Boss Bottled, which I have the Intense right here. I have the other ones over here too somewhere. But it has the DNA of this one in Boss Bottled Oud, and they added oud to it, which kind of made this one just a little bit more grown up. It's really a wonderful fragrance. The cypriol oil in Boss Bottled Oud gives it a powerful, woody, earthy, leathery scent. In the back, you can still smell the original, but it is definitely almost overpowered by the cypriol oil and the agar wood. This one will last you about 8 hours and protect at arm's length. It's a great fragrance. If you are a fan of the Boss Bottled series, you definitely have to get the Boss Bottled Oud for the colder days. I love this little guy. Number 5, we're going to get a little bit more gentlemanly. And we're going to go with the Eau de Parfum version of Gentleman by Givenchy. Oliver Cresp and Nathalie Larson are behind this wonderful fragrance. The original was from 2017, and I think just a year later the EDP was released in 2018. The main note of Gentleman by Givenchy in the EDP is orris root, or Iris germanica as most of you guys know it. The fragrance opens with lavender, and it slowly, as it goes on, it slowly moves into the clove, cinnamon, and sort of a resinous balsamic vanilla. Now the opening, it is quite fresh, and the lavender is certainly there. The iris doesn't take over until a few minutes into your first spray. It has an elegant, dressy, and it has plenty of depth to it. So it's elegant, dressy, and has plenty of depth, in my opinion. You could totally wear this with a suit and go out, dinner date, evening, and I think it will cut through the cold, no problem at all. And always making you smell like a gentleman. With about 8 hours longevity and pretty decent projection, you know, within arm's length, not too major, this fragrance will cost you around $80 online. If you can find it, of course. Should be plenty of them. There's also a few other ones, but I like the EDP for the colder days the best. And that's Givenchy Gentleman 2018. For number 4, I have a fragrance called Christmas in a Bottle. Not just kidding. It's not. It's Burberry London by Burberry. And it's the one with the cute little, I don't know, fabric on it. I guess it keeps it warm, which lets you know that's what it's going to be like. It's really a nice scent. This fragrance was created in 2006 by Antoine Maisondieu, and it literally smells like Christmas in a bottle. London for Men by Burberry. It's not sweet. It's more like walking through a winter wonderland or a forest, or shopping at a tree farm maybe. You know, like if you walk through a tree farm in the winter and you have all the spices in the background from people drinking tea, you know, spicy tea, chai lattes and stuff like that, with the needles of the tree coming at you. That's more like what this smells like. It's a nice scent. It's not sweet. It's more of a, I don't want to say pine tree because that's a different smell, but a needle tree like Christmas. It's a really great scent for Christmas. Love this one. And since we're already in the winter kind of mood, always kind of holidays like, there's nothing like throwing a couple of hazelnuts into the fire. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about Valentino Uomo from 2014. This is a wonderful scent created by Olivier Polch. It is a soft, creamy hazelnut with a touch of cedar and leather in it. To my nose, Valentino Uomo smells in the same family of smells. It doesn't smell like it, but it smells, it's kind of in the same softness array of La Nuit de l'Homme. Just what this one has hazelnut in it. But it's kind of the same sort of softness. It's not sweet, but it is soft, and they both have a little bit of a dreamy quality to it. It's a really great scent. Unfortunately, the projection on this one is not that good, and it doesn't last that long, but it's good for about 6 hours. To my nose, this fragrance is completely unisex. I can see a woman wearing this no problem whatsoever. This is more of a close encounter scent, since it stays closer in, doesn't last too long. It's a lovely scent with the hazelnut. It's just simply delicious. My number 2 fragrance in this list is Bulgari Man in Black, and it is the 2014 edition. And it is, I believe, is an EDP. It's a spicy rum tobacco, and it has some tuberose in it, which is a Mexican note or flower, I guess. It is noticeable in the scent. The iris in this fragrance, which it also has, is kind of mild, and it settles into a warm and spicy tonka bean, leather, and amber scent. It's really a wonderful fragrance for the colder weather, and I think it's elegant enough to wear to a date, dinner party, and a gathering. Not too loud. It's really a great scent that wears real easy. You get about 6 to 8 hours of this in this fragrance, and the projection is moderate, not too long, still with inside arm's length. Now, a lot of people say that this one smells a lot like Spice Bomb. You know, I can see the similarities since they both have spices, leather with a slight floral accord. However, Spice Bomb to me is not as smooth and elegant as Bulgari Man in Black. Spice Bomb is a little bit louder, it's a little bit rougher. I would wear Spice Bomb to go out if I wanted to go dance or something a little bit more younger, more youthful. Bulgari Man in Black is a little bit older. It might not be suitable for somebody who is, 20, 21 years old. I always want to smell these things right here, and since there's not a cap you can spray, you can't smell it, so you have to do one of these things. I don't know. It's a cool bottle though. But it is more elegant, simply put, than Spice Bomb. Similarities are there, but in no way, shape, and form are they the same. And now we're going to finish off with our number one. It is not the number one, it is just a countdown from 10 to 1. Like I said, they're not ranked in any kind of special order. But I think every man's fragrance closet, if you have one, or fragrance shelf, or should have this fragrance in it. And it's none other than Dior Homme, and it's the Intense version. I mean, this has got to be one of the best cold weather fragrances I've ever smelled. So the nose behind this one is Francois Demachy. This is a 2011 fragrance. It's been around a few years, I understand that, but it is definitely one of the best winter fragrance. This fragrance will cut through the cold with the iris and lavender like no other. It is a smooth fragrance, and there's a bit of pear in this one, but it's really mostly iris that you get. Dior Homme Intense, to me, is reminiscent of the lipsticky smell with a mixture of parfum when your mom used to tuck you in bed and give you a kiss goodnight. The cedar and the vetiver in here, though, keep it plenty masculine, but I think a woman could also wear this one due to the lipsticky vibe of it. But I think it's a really great fragrance, and it cuts through the cold and stays with you and keeps you nice and warm. And who didn't like the kisses from mom when she tucked you in? So I hope that this winter season, this list will keep you elegant, sexy, and just a little bit daring. Okay, this is Peter from Central. I'm glad that you were here. If you got anything out of this at all, please subscribe, like, love, all the good things that make this channel grow. I really appreciate you being here. I'll be back with another one soon. Until then, I want you to take really good care of yourself. Always smell nice, and I will see you in the next one. Until then, Central.